You get a still.
Okay, so we have a solo or not? We have a solo? We have 10 people. Whatever said to learn 10 people, learn together the mind.
Say it's Sudi Seido. Rebbe mentioned after Yudbis Tammuz that it's Sudi Seido.
Oh, we have 10. Yeah, okay, let's start. Why repeats this?
Why what?
Whenever I say it gets repeated. Maybe.
Oh, because someone else has
It's me, it's me.
Oh, you have the Zoom?
I was listening to the ringer on the way here.
Oh, very good, very good.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so let's start right away. Okay. Asara sheyoshim be'esim b'Torah. 10 people that are sitting and learning Torah. Shechina shruya b'neihem. The Shechina is dwelling between them, in their midst. Shenemar, like the Pasuk says, Elokim nitzov adas keil. That Hashem is standing in the adas, Eido, 10 people of Hashem. Main Eido of Kuso Me'asora. Rashi says there is no such a thing as an Eido less than 10 people. Minayin afilu chamisha. The Mishnah says we need you to be 10. Minayin afilu chamisha. So from whether you know that even 5. Shenemar b'agudoso eretz yesoda. Agudo is 5 people, says Rashi. Rambam Rabbeinu Yoinu. Minayin afilu shloisho. And how do we know that even when there is 3 people, Hashem is also there? Shenemar bekerev Elokim ishpoit. And kerev Elokim ishpoit, when there's shoftim, how many shoftim? 3 dayonim, says Rashi. Uminayin afilu shnayim. How do we know even when there is 2 people that the Shechina is there also? Shenemar Oz nidviru irei Hashem ishel reyayu. The irei Hashem, one with the other one. Vayakshev Hashem vayishma. And Hashem paid attention, and he heard. That means that 2 people, the Shechina is also there. Uminayin afilu echad. And how do we know that the Shechina is also there when there is 1 person learning? Shenemar b'chol mokem asher azkir es shmi. Any place where you're gonna remember my name. That means shetein das belivcho leazkir es shmi. When Hashem is gonna give us das in our hearts to remember the name of Hashem. Oh boy, I'm gonna come elecho to you, to 1 person. I'm going to give you brachas. Even if 1 person is sitting and learning Torah, that means that it brings a gilu elokus into the world. But nevertheless, there is a difference between 1 person that is learning or many people are learning. I know that means that when there is more people together, the level of kedusha that we are able to draw down into the world is from a higher level. When we tefillah, like in davening Shem Razal, tefillas rabim einan nimeses. When many people daven together, einan nimeses, the davening is that Hashem doesn't, how do you say, nimas, doesn't reject. Shenemar henker kovir lo imas. Because when there's many people learning together, so that draws down to the human midas oracle. The same thing when many people learn together, is drawn down into the world at much higher light. Rabbi Shmuel says, we say every morning that with 13 midas is that the Torah is nidreshes. There is 13 midos that through them the light of the Torah gets revealed. That means that each one of the 13 midos that to learn Torah is a new learning. For example, the first one is Kal V'chomer. The Rabbi Chomer teaches us a new thing in the Torah that without knowing that we need to analyze the Torah by using Kal V'chomer, we wouldn't get to it. So therefore, this is the source of the Torah. That these midas are the fact that is this union that we reveal new things in the Torah. I know the whole midah That means that each midah reveals the light of the Torah more gilui, revelation, and with more detail. Tama Dovaru, what's the reason why Yud Gimel Midos do that? The Yud Gimel Midos Shatorin Deshagoem, and get Yud Gimel Midos Sorachamim. So the Rebbe says, the Frierdiker Rebbe says that because the Yud Gimel Midos that we use to learn Torah are Keneged the 13 attributes of mercy of Hashem. Moshe Pirush Magid Memezrish, like Magid says, Moshe in the Kashariskin, Moshe Rabbeinu Shalom Mido Rishon Yud Gimel Midos Sorachim Mishul Shem Keil. When Moshe Rabbeinu said that Yud Gimel Midos Sorachim, and he said the name Keil, which is the first of the 13, the Moshe with philosophy Keil Nor Refon Allah. When Moshe Rabbeinu was davening for Miriam that had leprosy, so he said Keil, use the name of Hashem Keil, please heal her. Right away, Hashem says, Rashi says there, Kal v'chomer dichsi v'yomer Hashem el Moshe alos kolem shivas yomim v'morazal kal v'chomer l'shchina. Right away, Hashem said that Kal v'chomer, how long they didn't have to wait for her. So it was right away he said Kael, Hashem said that Kal v'chomer. That means that through the Yud Gimel Midos Rachamim, so the 13 Midos Rachamim, through them, the 13 midos of the Torah come out. The same way that the Rebbe said, the Frierdiker explains the same way that when Moshe Rabbeinu said the name Keil, right away the mid of Kal V'chomer came out. So when you get to all the 13, so when we learn the Torah with the 13 midos of the Torah, that brings into the world the Yud Gimel Midos Rachamim. Don't say Aroi Vashoshanim, the one that is a shepherd in the roses. Don't say Shoishanim Shoshonim Balochas. That means that the shepherd is there when the people learn Alochas. And says in the Zohar and the Akdama, Man Shoshana do Knesset Yisrael. Who is Shoshana? Who is a rose? That's talking about Knesset Yisrael. Shoshana is by place at Alin. So the same way that a Shoshana, a rose, has 13 petals, or if Knesset Yisrael is both place at Mechil and the Rachamim, that the Yidden also have these 13 attributes of mercy, they suffer in law called Sitra, that they surround us from all sides. This refers to the Yud Gimel Midos Rachamim that are drawn down through learning Torah. The people that learn Torah in general, and the people that teach Torah specifically, they're called Neturei Karta, the people that
hold on.
No, Neturei is not watch. Yeah, watch the city. I know them. That means that when we learn Torah, and through that we draw down to the world. So this mainly is when many people are learning together. We'll understand this. In other words, one person learning is also good, but the main thing is when there's 10 people, at least. We'll understand this from the union of Tefillah. What is Tefillah? The Tefillah is elevation from below to above. Meaning, a person is in the world, he sees his situation, he wants to ask from Hashem something, he raises his whatever his case, and that brings an awakening from above. That is the answer to his tefillah. Depending on how much the way our tefillah is, that's how much we are going to be able to get from Hashem. The difference is that when a person is doing it by himself, it's according to his limitations. I'm limited, so I'm a person, so I ask Hashem in my limited way. So my awakening to get close to Hashem is also limited. So then Hashem gives me also something back that is limited. But when a person, it happens with a minion, the whole minion together, they don't get back from Hashem something that is the sum of all the tefillahs that the people did, but what we get back from Hashem when we daven with a minion is that the shaloi lefi erech, There's no comparison to what our avodah was in the way that we daven. That means that's the advantage of davening with a minion, that the awakening from above means that the answer from Hashem and the brachas that He gives, that they don't depend on how good our avodah was in trying to ask Hashem and getting close to Hashem. It's much more. So if we were talking about tefillah of one person, there's no such a thing as saying that Hashem is going to reject the davening of a person, because it depends on what we do. We did one, we get one. We did two, we get two. Because this is what we deserve according to the Ma'inukvin, with our avodah that we did. But when many people are davening together, what we get from Hashem is has no comparison to what our avodah was to be able to get this. So now it makes sense that Hashem says, you know what, you're going to daven with a minion, lo imas, I'm not going to reject it, meaning that you're asking for more than what you deserve. I'm not going to reject it. If a person is davening by himself, he's going to get what he deserves. So there's no such a thing as saying Hashem is going to reject it. Similar to davening one person in a session tshuva. Shamur Razal v'yochid emosai. When is the time that Hashem listens to Shalai Lefi Erech, to the davening of a yochid? In the 10 days between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, that one person, when he dies by himself, he could draw down into the world the Yitkim Midas Rachamim, similar to any day when we daven with a minion. Imagine how much more when in a Sesem Tshuva we daven with a minion. That means that there's no comparison with our avodah. That happens when one person davens alone, that is able to get the Yugim Midas Rachamim and Sesem Tshuva, is because that Sesem Tshuva is a Eis Rotzen. The same way that in the Sesem Tshuva a Yochid could do it, we any day when we daven with a minion, we are able to draw down Yugim Midas Rachamim. That's Isarus Le'elo, that's awakening from above. We get the brachas from Hashem, that no comparison to what we did. Same thing is with the Torah. Even though usually, what is Torah? Torah is something that comes from above to below. What does Hashem want from me? What is Hashem saying? Okay, so let me hear it in the world. Let me do it. That's milemalo lemato, from above to below. The Torah is the person that is learning. What comes from above is that what Hashem, in other words, a person has to decide to sit down and learn. But what comes because of the learning that we have from above has nothing to do, in other words, there is no comparison to what we actually did. But it's not mamish milemalo lemato. We need to put the effort of learning. That's why if somebody says the only thing I have is Torah, come Torah ein loy. He doesn't have Torah either. What's a kavanah? The kavanah was there, is gamma avoided the tefillah, because a person is supposed to have also avoided the tefillah, to be that the Torah should be able to accomplish what Hashem wants us to accomplish with the Torah. I know the levato is much as the Torah. Besides that, when a person learns Torah itself, has to be with avodah and with an effort. Maamaar yogato also, like the Maamaar says that yogato, if you put an effort, you're going to find daily. In order to be able to grasp this an idea sichli, this is through an effort that we have to put. When a person puts more effort than what he naturally would put into learning something until he gets to it, that changes the regulus, changes the way the person is. Like the Maamaar Razal says that it's not the same when a person learns something 100 times and when he learns 101 times. That person is called Oved Elokim, like he's explaining in Tanya, that in those days they used to have the the minhag of learning things 100 times. They didn't use the Svarim. They didn't have the Mishnayos, they didn't have the Gemara, so they had to learn everything by heart. And when somebody learned 101 time, that meant that he went out of his regulars. And because of that, the person that does what everybody else does, even though it's a lot, 100 times learning something, is not Oived Elikim. Oh, you did more than the regulars, more than what you used to. You put more effort than naturally you would do. So now you got Oived Elikim. What's the beginning of Avodas Hashem? If somebody says, I want to be a Oived Hashem, I want to serve Hashem, means that a person is supposed to change the way he's used to do things. That's why when the beginning, when Hashem started to talk to Avraham Avinu, what did he tell him? Go away from your land. Go out from the artius, from where you used to, from the land, that the minogim of your place. That means that the midos tivim, the natural midas that you have. What means your father's household? That is talking about the seichel anik, means a person lives in a certain country, a certain place, and he acquires a certain way of thinking that has to do with this place. So Hashem was telling Avraham Avinu, go out not only from your nature, what naturally you would do, but also you acquire a certain way of thinking, so go out from that. כמו שישנם כמה דברים בעניין לנוער ומגונה שעל פי הנוחס העולם נעשה המגונה נוער וקודם זה ושם נימוס והדוימה. So same way that there is certain things that they are nice or they are ugly, that according to the anoche, the way that people think in that place, the meguna, the things that are ugly, which should become nice, and the people say, oh, this is having good manners or similar things. And because of that, they do make kosher many things, certain things that are not done be'emes, that they are only from the lips to outside. That means that it's not real. And everything they do is what they care that what's seen by other people. And sometimes they make that as is ugly something that's really good. So how could it be that a person could change the good into bad and the bad into good? Because people go according to their what they used to do and what naturally comes easy to them. That has to do with the artius, being a person from that land, I guess. The chumrius and Verzois in a Reshis Avoido Azivas Regilus. First thing in Avoido is leaving the Regilus, what we used to do. By doing that, we become a kli to the amshochos, to the things that are drawn down into the world and the revelations that come through Torah. There's Dalet parts. This is the third. Hashem had a desire to have a dwelling place in this world and in the lowest world. When the Razal said, Shoykov is legs, that refers to the world that Hashem had a tshuka, a desire to create it. The beams of marble, so even though sheish means marble, but the says that is referring to the 6 days that Hashem did the creation of the world. They are founded over Adnei Paz, Elu Parshiyah Shel Torah. This Parshiyah Shel Torah. This is the Parshiyas of the Torah. And the pasuk says Bereshis in the beginning, Bara Elokim. The Bereshis or Beis Reshis, the word Bereshis means two beginnings. The Isol, the Kroim Reshis, that Isol are called beginning. The Torah Nikras Reshis, the Torah is called Reshis. Which will base Madrego is Reshis. Say no Nibra Oilam. For these two levels are called Reshis, beginning. The world was created for Hashem and for the Eden and for the Torah. So what's the reason why Hashem created the worlds? the spiritual ones, and this one, that a Yid should learn Torah the way that was given in this world. Through this is Nishlam, is to get completed the intent of Hashem in creating the worlds. Which cause of the Torah oir, like the Pasuk said, the Torah oir, the Torah is light. The whole in Torah, that all the things of the world should be al pi Torah, with the light of the Torah, and then the world gets sustained. The Razal said that Hashem made a Tanai, I say Tanai,
Deal.
with the world, by salvations, condition, if the Eden are gonna fulfill the Torah, mutav is good. In parentheses, Hashem is going to bring back the whole world to nothing. What's the meaning of fulfilling the Torah? It means that doing the mitzvahs, a human should be the way the Torah wants. A mitzvah, what's a mitzvah? A mitzvah is a connection. That if somebody commands a mitzvah to somebody else, means that there is a connection between the one that commands and the one that is commanded. So when Hashem tells us to do a mitzvah, He's connecting with us, and we connect with Him when we do the mitzvah. Like in a simple mashal in the world, we see clearly. When could you tell somebody to do something? When you have a connection with that person. Like a father that commands his son, or like a balabos to his servant. Thank you, so when somebody fulfills it, the command in general, and he does it behidur, so this more specific in Nidur, in an enhanced way, this shows the iskashrus between the metzuve to the metzave. This means that I'm connected, the metzuve, the one that was commanded, to the metzave, to the commander, to the one that commanded, which is Hashem. They know they make you mitzvah and they give mitzvah. It's not the same thing when somebody is a slave or servant to doing what the father wants. There is many different levels. There's an essential advantage in sons that they're not, that you don't find this in slaves. And in the accepting the yoke of the owner, the avodim, the slaves, they have an advantage that a son doesn't have. But when we look at what unites both of them, the way that the son does what the father wants, or the way that the slave does, but the thing that is the same thing is that at the time that we do what we were commanded, we get connected to the one that commanded it, to Hashem. And we make a nachas ruach to Hashem. Hashem says, is a nachas ruach for me that I said something I commanded, and whatever I asked became a reality. The mitzvah saying, what are the mitzvahs? The mitzvahs are the will of Hashem, the supernal will of Hashem. And the main avodah is to serve Hashem with accepting the yoke. It's not what I want, it's what Hashem wants from me at this moment. Which means that the reason why we do a mitzvah is not because of the reason of the mitzvah or the seichel that I understand in my seichel what has to be done. Because of the reason why I do this mitzvah is because this is the way the Chochmah and the will of Hashem decreed that I should do when it's Avinu Lasos Kain, and Hashem commanded us to do this. This is the reason why I do it. That's called Kabbalah Soil. That's why if a person is going to approach the cube of the mitzvahs in this way, there is no difference between the mitzvahs at all. You do say because we know that it's known that there is certain mitzvahs say that even a regular mind of a regular person agrees that this is something that makes sense. like to give honor to the father and the mother, tzedakah, to give tzedakah, mitzvah says mitzvah says like not to steal, or so וכולי, וישנם שהם חוקים כמו פסח, ציצis וכולי, and then there is other things that the seichel doesn't understand in the same way, but like Pesach and tzitzis, אבל באמת אין בזה שום נפש ועבר כלל. There is no difference between the ones that we understand, not to steal and to give honor to the parents, and with the Pesach or Poraduma. There is no difference. Because even the mitzvahs that are al pi seichel, that means that we understand that the only reason why we do them is because this is what Hashem wants. In order to be able to reach that point where we do the mitzvahs the way they're supposed to be done, is when we learn Torah. Because besides that, we need to learn in order to know what to do. Like we see that there is certain people that have a lot of Yerushalayim, but they're missing the knowledge in different details with about davening. Then yes, Omen, they don't understand, they don't know when you're allowed to stop to say Omen for somebody is a drop, Omen Yeshme Rabo, Proti Adinim was and the details about these things. They don't know. They don't know about the Tiras Yodaim and being careful which Milah Shabbos and similar things. You see the guy is a very Yerushalayim, but he doesn't know. But and we need to learn in order to know what we need to do. But you, exactly, the way the Torah wants. In a oizois, not only that by learning Torah we know what to do, but also the Torah bichlal, when we learn Torah bichlal, and when we learn many together at the same time. At that time there is a revelation of a higher light from Hashem that makes that a person awakens a person to change himself, his nature and the things that he's used to do. As the person becomes different, and the person acquires good midas. So learning Torah brings us to be able, that a light that comes at the time that we learn Torah Rabbim, that makes that the person should have the koyach to be able to do it and acquire good midas. This is the last one. When a person is going to meditate and is going to put in his take to his heart the goal and the intent of why our neshamas came down into being a neshama of a body, that is, this is in order to fulfill the mitzvahs and learning Torah in this world. And when we and this descent of the neshama into the body, into the world, is in order to elevate it higher than the level that the neshama had before it came down to the world. Today, that through the avoid of a person in refining and clarifying the animal soul, and when the person also overcomes all the impediments in Alidays, that makes that the nefesh Eloki, the godly soul that we have, that should get elevated to one elevation after the other, and everything only depends on us. When a person is going to meditate in this, that's going to awaken the person with a big awakening to approach the kodesh, the inyonim of kedusha Hashem, and to fix the times to learn Torah al menas lasois ulekayim, in order to be able to do the mitzvahs and fulfill them, mitzvahs Hashem chayus pnimi, and not just to do them, but also with a chayus pnimi, that internal liveliness. And the person does it bepoil mamesh in a oz v'toira oir. So when a person actually does it, so this is that the Torah becomes light. That Hashem makes it, enlightens everything from above in everything that He does. Because the emes is asher Torah yamshocha milemalo lemato. What is Torah? Torah means that we draw down something from above. Yes, it's something from Hashem. It's much higher than what we could imagine with our avodah, but it has to do that we do our avodah. There's a difference between when one person is learning and when many people are learning. Rabbi Mamshich Moreli and Yosef, because the many draw down a higher light. This will be understand when Mikol Shekain from Tefillah. What is Tefillah? From below to above. There is a difference between one and many. That the whole year, when many people daven together, what we received is much higher than what we did in avodah. Could imagine something that you start from the bottom up. That's how much we get. That's davening. Could imagine so much more Torah that to begin with is something that Hashem gives us from above. So we need to have koyach to be able to draw it down. And this is similar to the difference. There's no the difference between davening and a bracha. What is the difference? The tefillah will be anybody. Tefillah, everybody could daven. But giving a bracha is only somebody that has the ability of being able to give a blessing. And that means that has the power to be able to, is empowered to bless. Like Hashem told Abraham, you will be a bracha. That means a bracha is nesunos b'yodcha, that the brachas are given in your hands. Hashem says, until now they were in my hands. I gave brachas to Adam, I gave brachas to Noach. And from now on, Avraham Avinu, Rashi says, you're going to be able to bless anyone that you want. Like a kohen that gives a bracha, is because the koyanim were given the koyach, the power, they were empowered to give blessings. And the reason is because tefillah is from below to above. Why tefillah anybody could do it, but bracha is only special people, because tefillah is milemato lemalo, from below to above. That means that we are lower. We are lower than the thing that we are asking Hashem and davening, requesting and davening and miskanen and sheti amshochet, that amshochet should come down. Like we say, Yehi Rotzoin should be the will of Hashem. That means that it's not now. Everybody could request. Everybody has a koyach to be able to request. But a bracha that is from above to below, the person that asks for, that gives a bracha, has to be higher than the bracha. Because if it's not higher than the bracha, how could he bring it down from above to below? He's higher than him. But only because he's in a high level, because he's higher than the bracha, that's why he's able to make it go down. That's what it means. That's what it says when the Koyanim gives us a bracha. It says, Hashem should give us brachas with kids, and money, with a good intent to guide our kids and household people in a good guided way in the limud of the Torah and Ira Shomayim. That's Yivorech Hashem. Veishmerecho. What means Ishmerecho? Mina mazikin. Hashem should save us from those that want to cause harm. Yoir Hashem panaveilecho. Hashem should light his premiums to us. What does it mean? Shakoilu b'derech tzivu v'gzeiro. Everything is in a way that is not that the Koyanim are saying, oh, I wish that Hashem would give you this or that. Everything is like a decree. So it's going to happen. So in a brocha, that the way the Koyanim bless is the brocha. Shemamshich hadover b'derech milemala lamato. That they bring the brocha from above to below. Hainu lefishal Koyanim nitan koyach zeh milemala, because and why the Koyanim could do it like this? Because the Koyanim were empowered with this from above. That's why they're able to bring these brachas to us, like in a way of a decree. This needs to happen. The same thing is when we learn Torah with many. Because learning Torah draws down kedusha from above to below, and so we need to have that power to be able to do it. This koyach, this power, was given to us, that when we learn Torah, we are able to bring such light, was given to us at the time of Matan Torah. Shneimar, like the pasuk says, "Vaydaber Elokim es kol hadvorim ha'ele leimor." Hashem spoke all these things to be said. Leimor miyuteres. This word is leimor is extra. Why? Because usually when Hashem told Moshe to leimor, means to tell the Eden. And here that all the Eden were there, so to tell to whom? So that word leimor is extra. But the Frierdiker explains that the word leimor, to say to it means ledoiros. Hashem spoke all these things, the says leimor, to be said to the generations. Because what means that all the generations are going to be saying this? That every person in any generation is going to say, learn Torah, has a koyach, every Jew, every Jew, was given the power that when a person learns Torah, he should draw down into the world that revelation of godliness. That's why the Torah was given in the desert. Like it's known that the Keser Torah, the crown of Torah, is a crown of Kehuna, of Malchus, of being a king. This was given to certain people. But the crown of Torah is Hefker HaKoil. It means that it's open there for anybody to grab it. That every Jew is empowered to be able to draw down into the world a revelation of godliness when a person learns Torah, because he wants to be able to do the mitzvahs. It's just that there is a difference between when a person learns by himself to many learning together. The koyach of Rabbi said, because the koyach of the many is much greater. That's what it means. What says that 10 people that are sitting and they're busy learning Torah, the Shekhinah is dwelling in their midst. That's the Torah of the many. And from where do we know that even one person is learning by himself? This is the only time that I'm going to give you the understanding that you better do a mitzvah or learn Torah. I'm going to give you brachas. And the main thing is to learn Torah with other people. That when a person learns Torah with somebody else, this is a tzedakah, and this is a gemilus chasodim, but with the nefesh, we're doing it with the soul. It's not money, it's the soul giving to somebody else. When a person teaches and learns with somebody else, his brain and his heart become 1,000 times more refined than what he was before. And that awakens the source of the brachas. Because the 13, and the reason is because the 13 midos of the Torah, basically learning Torah, they draw down the 13 attributes of mercy, that the ashpoah should be also in physically speaking in the world, but that should be good, but a good that could be seen and could be revealed, that people say that this is good. In bonim, and everything has to do with kids, life, and abundant sustenance, a lot of money, and all the way to Ashirus and Bechula.
Amen. Thank you.
It's 8:15, we finished 8:20. Finished down in Paris. And I come out, and there's a video that Rebbe saying, learn this.
How's Mendel?
Which Mendel?
Your son-in-law,
Mendel Tversky?
Tversky. It's good.
Huh?
I remember him as a little kid.
In Chicago?
Yeah.
How
I
was
was
it?
his father's first class.
You?
Yeah,
Hmm?
he already had his upstairs. Fifth grade. I was in fifth grade. In Y2K in 2000. The Y2K bug was when I was in fifth grade. We asked our teacher if it's true, and she said, "We'll see."
Nothing happened.
They were expecting major disasters, barely affected.
That's similar to when they say there's going to snow a lot. That's similar to they just want the hype and you're looking at it and you're looking into the advertisement. It's
It would go out at midnight.
Yeah, I went that night. It was Friday night. We went to a Shalom Zacher. I went to a Shalom Zacher, and I made sure to come home to go to sleep before 12 o'clock, because if the world would collapse, at least I would be sleeping. That was
I mean,
I was very smart. See, I used to be very, very brilliant.
Until the sun comes back.
Right. Then I woke up and I saw my clock in my room still working. So must be okay.
The underlining with that statement said the rule.
I think I already after a while seeing all these things I already said baloney.
You come with $2 million.
But he was a kid.
And then you become a million solid business. 1036. So now you start with the audience.
Does anyone wants to bring, or we should continue all in our own homes?
It's not brain.
Okay.